It's breaking news. We have the ratings for Rosie O'Donnell replacing Jimmy Kimmel for this week, at least in her debut. And the numbers just might surprise. They might be shocking. The question now is, will Disney stick her on The View? Because some say her time on Jimmy Kimmel is actually an audition for an entirely different show than Late Night. Today we'll tell you if she's doing all right in the eyes of Disney. It's a wonderful day in the pro neighborhood, and folks, welcome back. Your friendly neighborhood pro is ready to go places the mainstream media simply will never arrive. And tomorrow's headlines delivered up today. How about that, eh? Let's dive in, click the like button, and we're on our way. Breaking news right now, folks. Take a look at this from TV Insider, just releasing the latest ratings for Rosie O'Donnell on the Kimmel replacement for the week. Says by Martin Holmes, Rosie O'Donnell Kimmel ratings revealed. Is she a hit or miss? We're going to dive into this a little bit deeper than I think most would anticipate. And we're going to do the best we can with something that's just landing on the desk. Rosie O'Donnell's debut as guest host on Jimmy Kimmel Live drew the show's highest ratings among guests so far. Pay attention to that caveat. Her monologue went viral online, amassing over 2.5 million views, more than double the previous guest host record. I always find it interesting how they do this. It appears to me, and maybe it's not consciously so, they present this as the highest ratings among guest hosts so far. Then in a completely different statistic, that's not clear that it's a completely different statistic, they drop the 2.5 million views. You see, Rosie O'Donnell did not get 2.5 million viewers. She got 2.5 million views online, which is being called viral. I don't know that I would say that, and I also don't know if 2.5 million views is spread out across different domains and platforms. Here are the real numbers she got. According to Late Nighter, citing preliminary Nielsen Live Plus same-day figures, Monday's episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live drew 1.87 million total viewers, 218,000 viewers in the key 18 to 49 demographic. Now, to put that into perspective for everybody out there, Nerdrotic does Friday Night Tights on YouTube, and they would have more than 218,000 viewers in the demo, and I don't think anybody's going to be reporting about their ratings. But they definitely do, and they always do. It's going up against The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Christian, is Jimmy Fallon on hiatus this summer as well? Is that a guest versus guest situation or guest versus rerun?
I think his ratings have crept up in part because he's been going as normal. I think
during the summer,
actually been benefiting from.
That's very wise of them.
It's very smart of him. Yeah, he's trying to kind of corner some of the market back, which he's lost a ton. From what I understand, Kimmel's ratings have been up both after the whole Charlie Kirk situation and also when Colbert went away. So I think he's been getting between maybe 1.9 to 2.2 million when Kimmel himself is hosting. So, good for Rosie for getting better than the other hosts, but she's not even reaching what Kimmel gets normally. So this isn't a big win.
Yeah, and if we go to the Late Nighter from a prior article, I'll show you what it is. It's back in April. Here are the final late night ratings for Q1 2026. Let's take a look at this. Stephen Colbert, before being ousted, was getting 2.7 million. You've got Jimmy Kimmel, who is coming in second at 2.53, and then Fallon far behind at 1.33. Of course, Gutfeld is at 3.3 million, so just, wiping the floor with all of them. So Jimmy Kimmel was averaging 2.5. Rosie comes in and gets 1.87. But I would also say, Christian, that this is sort of rubbernecking. I think a lot of people tuned into the opening monologue to see like, okay, well, here's a dumpster fire. What's this going to look like? So I want to know how she does Thursday night. Like that's the number I would want to see, because I want to know what's the holdover. What can she hang on to?
I agree, but also the fact that she's getting much less than what he gets normally. When this has been a lot of media attention, and we've been talking about it for weeks and weeks. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rosie's going to host a show. What is she going to say? There's any sort of suspense there. But it seems like a big nothing. The other guest hosts were not really draws. Anthony Anderson, I'm sorry, he's a likable comic actor, but he's not exactly a name. Most people don't know who he is. They probably recognize his face first and foremost. So he doesn't really bring much to the table. I forget some of the others. Maybe Tiffany Haddish was one of them as well.
Yeah, nobody knows who she is.
Yeah, and she's a fading star. I mean, she was kind of big like 5-10 years ago, and she's kind of on the way out. So, I don't know what to say. But to me, the bigger issue is that, Rosie O'Donnell, the feminist, is kind of talking about Trump's assistant, who all of a sudden is the cause du jour in the media. Like, this is a big scandal. It's going to bring him down. I mean, it's a nothing burger on cheese. But you think a woman would want to not pick on a fellow woman who's been unfairly targeted and is a cancer survivor. But call me crazy. I guess I expected too much from our Rosie.
Yeah, you expected too much from Rosie, and we expected too much from this redhead. But at the same time, lower down in the story, it's revealed that Rosie isn't even close to where Kimmel left himself on his own show. He regularly surpasses 2 million viewers in his live plus same day figures, and his monologues often top 3 million views on YouTube. So when you compare apples to apples, they're apples and oranges. So. Okay,
well, let's talk about this. This is going to be spun. And Culture, I want to thank you. You're the one who discovered that this was just breaking and sent it my way. Nat, my suspicion has been that they're testing the waters to see if Rosie should return to The View. Ooh. There's been a lot of stuff out there. Rosie had claimed, oh, yes, I'm going back. Disney put out a statement afterwards saying, well, there's no formalized contract. Then it got uglier, and Disney said, no. So I don't know anymore. It seems like maybe that wasn't supposed to get out there, and maybe that was a big mistake on Rosie's part. But Nat, what do you think about this being an audition for Rosie getting a resurrection in her career somewhere?
Obviously. I mean, it's funny how transparent they can be sometimes. That this is, I mean, the padding and look how good she's doing and how viral she went, especially after a big hiatus that she's been taking for too long now. She should stay in it. But I do think they're preempting this and using this as a not just testing grounds, but as a way to tell the people kind of what to think about this and about her and about how good she's going to be doing, be it independently. Maybe they're going to test her out by herself, or maybe there was a plan for The View, but nothing was certain. And now maybe she kind of messed that up too. Who knows? Or maybe she will just come back.
Also, Trump's going to be gone in 2 years, so that takes away anything of consequence for her. But also, she's left The View twice. She doesn't work well with others. I think any sane company would say we couldn't even hire her for a temporary gig because we don't know how long it's going to last. So I think this is just all, we want to promote her, we want to support her, we want to amplify her message, and anything she does we're going to say is good because she's against who. I think it's as simple as that. I almost think we're overthinking it. I don't think they were auditioning her or anything. I think by the way, if you flee the country because Hitler 2.0 is here, do you come back because you got a new gig?
Apparently so. Apparently she's behind the lines, Christian. Enemy lines have been breached. And folks, don't get mad at me for the frozen frame. It doesn't get better no matter where I select. Christian, to your point, we find out Rosie is now claiming because her friend here, Kathy, who often likes to hold up very interesting props, Kathy has dropped the head for a minute, and she's upset with Rosie because Rosie didn't invite her. Rosie has defended herself and said, well, I didn't get to pick the guests. Like, I didn't get to pick the guest at all. And so I think that points to what you're saying. Rosie doesn't have any power here. This is like a Disney thing. Disney's picking who comes on. They're controlling all of it. And she really is sort of she's just a psychological operation from Disney to try to offend the Trump administration at the time they're battling the FCC.
The saddest thing about this freeze frame, besides the actual freeze frame, was that these women were pretty talented back in the day, were funny and engaging, and were successful in what they did, and they've just been crushed by this obsession with who. It's sad. I met Kathy Griffin years ago. I was in DC. She performed there, and I went to see her after the show, and she was delightful. And you hear what both of them say, and the theories and the craziness. They're not well. I mean, I feel badly for both of them, but they're being propped up in this sort of superficial way it's not good for anyone, really.
And it's the only way they make the news. So that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that speaks largely to the controversy that Rosie has caused every time she's appeared on The View. She was pushed out at the end of her first contract there back in 2007, and she ended her stint rather early, being forced to quit in 2015. So, look, she's not a good fit anywhere. I'm sorry. She might work in a movie. She may work in a short comedy like skit kind of a thing, but she's not going to work on the Tonight Show, and she certainly won't work again on The View.
I'm going to disagree. Nat, I believe that Rosie, if the View is not going to be made any better with, diverse opinions, if all you're going for is a bombastic audience that hates the Orange Man for the next 2 years, if you want to drive ratings up on that, it would be awful to watch. It's damaging society. But Rosie would get the ratings up on The View because she'd say more insane stuff with Whoopi and Sonny and Joy. And oh boy, here we go.
That is true, but maybe she's also coming back out in a way to do it all on her own. I mean, we have seen other show hosts and ex-show hosts try to go their own way on YouTube or with podcasts. Maybe she's trying to soft launch a podcast or something like that as well, and using this as a testing ground to move maybe away from the industry itself, because maybe The View isn't very happy with her right now, especially after it was, no, she's not coming back. But it might be just a soft launch for her own new something.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pro. I think The View and Rosie deserve each other. The problem is that she wouldn't last more than a few weeks.
She wouldn't, but it would be a glorious burnout. It would be like Icarus, but much more icky, I'm afraid. When you stick around for the entire video, it really does help the channel. And we're so appreciative of that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that you would stick around and hear everything we have to say. The studio is glistening because you're listening each and every day. If you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. And click that like button. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.